Hey guys, welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and appreciate you guys swinging by the channel to check it out. And guys, a lot of y'all that watch the channel, about 2 or 3 months ago, my wife Kim, she was telling me that, Randy, you really need to watch what you're saying on some of your videos. You're coming across, you're making some people mad, you're offending some people. And I listened to her and I understand exactly what she was saying, and I really tried to make an effort to do that. But I guess I've been slipping a little bit, and Kim had to, remind me in a very forceful way again last night that, I got to watch what I say, and I got to watch my tone, and I got to watch, out not to offend people with that. And after listening to her a long time, I understood, the urgency, what she was talking about. And I want to get into that in today's video, guys, because this is a very difficult dynamic to navigate through when you have a YouTube channel like I do and social media, because it's basically an opinion channel. And it's like, a lot of you guys out there have strong opinions on stuff. You guys got stuff that you really believe in, or you're really, adamant about, and, you express that. I'm no different. I got things in the sport that I really feel strongly about, and I use my platform to express that, but a lot of times it does not come out the way I probably should put it out. I want to get into that in today's video and sort of explain to you guys the difficulty surrounding this, because it's not as easy as it sounds here. Also, guys, real quick before we get started, we are probably about 2 weeks away from our first live podcast here. I'm going to start doing a live stream on my channels here. This is going to be a private live stream for Intuitive Angling and The Fishing Teacher and Advanced Bass Fishing, my 3 channels, for all the channel members and the Patreon members. And this will give us a chance to talk about a lot of stuff we can't talk about on the main channels because it's a private feed. So if you're interested in that, guys, just go to my YouTube homepage on any of my channels, click on the join button for membership for info, or go into the description of every video I have and sign up on the Patreon program. So really appreciate that, and looking forward to talking with you guys. Okay. Let me get into this a little bit here, how it goes down. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about first before I get into my specific situation. I live here in Springfield, Missouri, so a lot of people in the state here are big Kansas City Chiefs fans. They follow it very closely. And if you've ever noticed, it's like a lot of the Chiefs, like say for example, Patrick Mahomes, or, what other players on the team, they're asked by the press a lot their opinions on things. And if you've ever noticed, Patrick Mahomes, when he's asked a question that is even the slightest bit edgy or maybe could be controversial, he doesn't go there. He just like gives a really really neutral, bland answer to it with there's an intentionality behind his response that he doesn't want to offend anybody. That's just his personality. And then you have other members of the Chiefs. I've seen some other members of the Chiefs that completely express their opinions, and they tend to get attacked for it a little bit. They, the more outspoken Chiefs, they tend to, get some blowback if they offer their opinion on something. And I think that's sort of the way that a little bit on human nature, and I want to explain to you how it's the same in bass fishing here. Here's the situation that I have with it, and this is one of the things that Kim has been warning me about, and Kim's been trying to teach me, and I do appreciate it because, Kim has really been helping me out a lot lately, guys. She's been doing videos with me. She's really helped me navigate through all this social media, the Facebook and Instagram, so I really appreciate her part in that. So I do listen to what she says, because she's a very rational sounding board. It's like if I go out too far in one direction, she can pull me back in, and what she had to do last night, because the last couple of weeks there's been some stuff that come up that I've really been opinionated about, and I've let my opinions be known. Okay, so here's what you have on it. This is the situation that I have, and I sort of want to explain this to you guys so you can understand my position on it. Maybe you can come a little closer with that. Probably, I'm going to guess, over 90% of the people that watch my videos and everything about it, they agree with basically about everything I say, or if they don't agree with it, they don't say anything about it. They just, let it ride. And there's probably 10% of the people that don't let anything ride. It's like they are on top of absolutely everything. And if I say something about, say for example, I don't like braid to fluorocarbon, or I back reel and I don't like using a drag on a spinning reel, they'll say something, Randy, that's the biggest bunch of crap I've ever seen. You're super ignorant. I'm unsubscribing for the channel, and you freaking idiot, something like that. And then I'll say something about, how climate change issues are affecting fishing or something like that. They'll say, Randy, you're a stupid idiot. I'm done with this channel. I'm never watching it again. Or then I'll say something about how maybe if there's a chicken farm or a turkey plant that's pumping this, pollutants or effluent into one of our lakes and it's causing toxic algae blooms, they'll say, Randy, you're so freaking ignorant. I can't believe you'd say that. I'm calling all your sponsors and telling them that I'm never going to buy anything from them again because of what you just said about the turkey plants. There's that. You have that element. It's like you can't make anybody happy. It's like, guys, I can sit here in the tackle room and I can talk about my boat. I could talk about my trolling motor. I could talk about the type of line I use. I could talk about my rods, my lures. And there's going to be those 5 or 10% of the people out there that just are offended by it for whatever reason. And I understand that. But what it has for me, and this is one of the things that Kim brought up that's very difficult for me, that I've got to really start doing more, and I'm going to force myself to start doing more, is a lot of times I'll comment on other channels. I'll say, because if something comes up on my feed or I'm watching another channel, I'll comment, something about, what's going on in that channel. And if somebody doesn't like the comment I make, they will freaking ring me a new one with it. And threaten me that they're going to do this or that, or unsubscribe or make my life miserable simply because I made a comment on something. And I got to realizing it about that. It's just, and after what Kim was telling me, Kim was really hammering it into me last night. It's like, it's not worth it. Because like she was saying, it's like, Randy, why do you have to feel that you got to make a comment like this and make somebody mad? Yeah, you may make, the majority of the people may agree with you, but you're going to make some people mad. She goes, it's not worth it. She goes, it's not worth, why, what do you think you're gaining out of it? She goes, what are you gaining by making this comment like that that's making 10 or 15% of the people mad? She goes, you're not going to change their mind. She goes, you're just going to make it matter. And I got thinking about that, and I was thinking about that after she was telling, because she was really upset with me about this. And I got thinking, it's like, she's right. It's like, for the immediate gratification that I may have for making a comment, that's contrary to what somebody has commented or said in whatever post that they're making, the immediate gratification is not worth it in the big picture because I'm not changing anybody's mind with it. All I'm trying to do is interject my own opinion. And I think that's just maybe a product of personality a little bit, maybe a personality flaw that we got to work on. So one of the things that I have to do that's very difficult here, and I can't go completely to the Patrick Mahomes extreme where somebody says something to me, I'm just going to give this very, milquetoast answer, this level all the time, is, it's like some of this stuff, you just have to let it go. And like I said, I talked about this a couple months ago. I told you guys that I'm really going to try this, and it's really going to be difficult, but I'm going to make an effort. This was a reminder yesterday about I have to continue making that effort, because there are a lot of people out there, and the people that send me messages, guys, I'll say something in a comment, for example, that most people agree with, but it may just hit one person completely wrong. They'll send me a freaking PM, a private message, and freaking cuss me up and down about it, on there. So I realized on this that it's like, there's going to be that element, and there's some dudes out there that can't let it go. It's like if I say something about, guys, you should never, ever use a drag on a spinning reel again. And I'll explain why. I'll explain exactly why you should never use a drag on a spinning reel, my opinion with that. And there are some guys that just can't let that go. Instead of just saying, well, that's interesting, that's Randy's opinion, they'll come on there and freaking just ream me up and down one side of the desert, and cuss at me and call me a name and tell me I'm freaking ignorant, and they're going to unsubscribe from the channel. There is that element out there. And I don't want to let my channel be controlled by that 10%. But at the same time, it's not worth it. That 10% of the dudes out there that are just always looking for a fight and always looking to troll and always looking to try to hurt me in some way, whether it be, trying to make my life harder with the companies I work with, or trying to unsubscribe to the channel, or trying to, discredit the channel on different channels, or talk bad behind me on other channels. They're not worth it. It's like that 10%. That's not worth my time to try to make a point to those 10% anglers. So given that, I am going to work really hard on that, to do that. In other words, change my tone on it. And, one of the things that I think I'm going to begin with this is the delivery a little bit. I think sometimes on the channel, a lot of you guys may agree with this. I think sometimes I come across, which is not intentional, I don't mean to do this, is like I think that I'm a know-it-all on certain techniques. I need to really clarify that. It's like I'm giving you my opinion on what has worked for me personally. It's like my experience. It's like if I've experienced something with like a certain type of a hook set or a certain type of lure color, I've got to reiterate that this has been my personal experience. If I see something like if I see something going on with water pollution across the country that I've witnessed myself, where I've been in my boat and I've seen it, and I've seen, the devastation that this causes, I got to reiterate, guys, this is what I saw, and this is my experience with this particular situation with it. So maybe that way it won't be as offensive to it. But ultimately, guys, it doesn't, as much as you can be aware of it, like I'm really trying to be aware of it, it's like you can't please everybody, and you can't be all things to all people. One of my really good friends that's a super successful business person, guys, he's always told me that. He goes, Randy, you can't be all things to all people. Don't even try. So that's just the reality of the situation when it comes to YouTube and social media and all that type of stuff. But basically, guys, I want you guys to know that I do not mean to offend anybody. It's like, I know the hot button topics that I talk about are like forward-facing sonar, environmental issues, climate change issues, technique issues, my critique and my criticism of the tournament organizations. I'm not meaning to offend anybody with my opinion on that. Every one of those things that I just mentioned, all those issues I'm passionate about because I care about the sport. I care about the planet. I care about the planet we're going to hand off to our future generations. And I'm just trying to make change for the positive. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to make anybody's life miserable. So when I talk about those issues that some people are sensitive about, just know that that's just my attempt to try to make things better. I'm not trying to undermine anything. So it's just one of those things in life. But like I said, I'm really fortunate. I got Kim around to really, like I said, to really, give me a feel for how things may be perceived, because sometimes, I may be a little bit numb to that. So I just wanted to do this video to let you guys know that, you guys need to listen to your wife once in a while, because sometimes you may think you know more about a certain situation, but sometimes you don't. So I wanted to throw that out there. But anyway, guys, thank you very much. Appreciate everybody that supports Intuitive Angling and the channel. Big thank you for that. Like I said, we'll keep plugging along, trying to do better. So we'll talk later.